The young woman stood in the dark bathroom, gripping the sink and staring into the large mirror. Gathering her strength, she began to chant, "Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary." Through the inky black mirror, she saw a face slowly approaching, then suddenly the horrific vision leapt forward out of the mirror. The woman was found the next day, dead on the floor, with her eyes scratched out. So, now do you want to try it?
Bloody Mary is one of the most popular legends of folklore, and it is particularly unique that it is the only urban legend that you can try for yourself right now, if you have the courage to do so. The story goes, if you stand in a dark room and look into a large mirror at yourself, you should begin to chant her name 3 times, in some cases 13 times. Then the corpse of a young woman covered in blood will appear. Sometimes she has come to tell you when you will die, and other times she has come to claw out your eyes. The legend of Bloody Mary can be looked at in a few different ways. Each of them are horrifying in their own right. The first of these is the real history of the woman who would come to be known throughout the ages as Bloody Mary, a woman whose life story was plagued with tragedy and terror. Mary Tudor, who later became the first Queen Regent of England, was the daughter of King Henry VIII and Catherine of Aragon. Mary was emotionally abused, treated like a commodity to be shared or sold for the benefit of the crown, and was forbidden to see her own mother once Queen Catherine could not bear King Henry a male heir. Mary was plagued with terrible menstrual pains and irregular cycles. She lived a life fraught with fear and melancholy. 2 months after Mary eventually did take the throne and married Philip of Spain, who was 10 years her junior, she announced she was pregnant. However, it was discovered over time that she had suffered from a phantom pregnancy, and her reign ended 4 years later when she died with no heir to the throne. She earned the moniker Bloody Mary for her actions of having Protestants put to death during her time as queen in an attempt to re-establish Catholicism as the religion of the land after the reigns of her father and her brother. So is this the Bloody Mary that we see in the mirror? Probably not, but her name may have been adopted to explain what we are seeing due to the frightful images conjured by her name and her legacy. The story of Bloody Mary, as it is shared today, has different variations. Her haunting apparition has been believed to appear in some cases to warn you of impending dangers, and in other cases, to reap your soul. She has been seen as the visage of a young woman, and also as an old crone. Stories claim that she is covered in a thick layer of blood, or that her eyes have been gouged out in her own sorrow. She was thought to be a victim of the Salem witch trials, or even the victim of a hideous car accident. Some people have witnessed seeing her holding the corpse of a stillborn child, but most often she stands before you alone. The spirit has gone by many names: Bloody Mary, Hail Mary, Mary Worthington, Mary Jane, Bloody Bones, Black Agnes, and many others. As such, the urban legend of Bloody Mary appears to change from person to person, town to town, culture to culture. When it is boiled down, only the act of seeing a haunting figure in a dark mirror remains true between all stories. But this is where the story dates back even further in time. There is a divination method known as Catoptromancy, whereby one can read the future using a mirror. This practice dates back to ancient Greece, but was continued even as recent as the early 1900s, where women would gaze into a hand mirror, hoping to see their future husband's face. However, there was also a chance they would see a skull gazing back, indicating they would die alone. Calling for Bloody Mary was yet another means of contacting something from beyond the veil, looking to see what dark portents it may provide. If the story is a confabulation of many tales and the practice of Catoptromancy was well documented, then what makes this scary tale so believable? The answer is because the phenomenon is true. As we have learned in recent years, the phenomena of looking into a mirror and seeing something unnatural is very real. Staring at your reflection for a prolonged period of time can cause hallucinatory effects. Your facial features may appear to melt away and distort, while other elements, such as animal or strange faces, may also appear. The phenomenon was termed the strange face illusion by psychologist Giovanni Caputo, which is believed to be a consequence of a dissociative identity effect. In repeated experiments, he asked participants to look directly into a mirror over time. Then he recorded what they reported seeing. Most participants saw their own faces become grotesquely deformed, while some saw images of living or deceased relatives, animals, or even monsters. As your brain's face recognition center begins to note small changes in the image because you have been staring at it for too long, you begin to interpret your own reflection as that of a new face, even that of an unrecognizable stranger. To see your own face morph into that of someone or something else, this could easily be more unsettling and fright-inducing than any mere horror story. So feel free to try this yourself at home, but don't say we didn't warn you. You never know who you might see staring back.
For more videos about the paranormal and the unexplained, please like and subscribe to the Oddities Observed channel.